Hey guys, well we've got the front shoulders harvested off this deer, or processed down. Now the next thing is, what I want to do is take the back straps. There's a lot of neck meat up here that's real good stuff, and I need to process this down or get some of this out of here so I can get to the back straps. The back straps are in here of the deer, and they go all the way down to about here on both sides of the spine, and they go up. And normally, I take as high as I can with the back straps, and there's a lot of neck meat and stuff like that in there, and that way I'm just guaranteed I'm getting all the back strap. But you can't hardly see what's going on here because there's all this meat here. I need to trim up, I need to get rid of this fat here so I can see the back straps, because I want to be pretty careful with this. With the front shoulders and the trim, it doesn't matter if you make a missed cut or something like that. You know, you cut a little into the meat, it's all going to be trim or roast anyway. With the back straps, I want to try to keep it all whole as much as I can, because those are going to be, just like the steaks we did on the hindquarters, they're going to be just super pure, really nice red meat, and I want to, you know, keep those all whole as much as I can. So anyway, I'm going to get to trimming up on this, and then I'll show you how to harvest the back straps out. Alright guys, well, I'm ready to start processing these back straps. One thing I haven't really mentioned too much is, this is the way I hang my deer. A lot of people hang them upside down. What I've heard why people do that, one of the things, is because the hams or the hindquarters are the best cut of meat, besides the back straps. So the theory is, what I've heard is that if you hang them the other way, upside down, the blood will drain out of the back strap, or out of the hindquarters, leaving it less gamey. Like I said, my animals graze on, you know, they got acorns and stuff, but I mean, it's mostly farmland around me, so I don't really have a problem with them being gamey. This is the way I hang them, it's just the way I was taught, so this is what I'm going to do. So on this one, all this neck meat is real good. It wasn't shot in the neck, so I can harvest all this. You can see one side, I took a bunch of neck meat off. On this side, I started to take the neck meat off, but I'm going to harvest this back strap with this neck meat on there, just because sometimes, you know, I'm not an expert butcher, so I don't know where the back strap starts and where it ends. I'm pretty sure it starts about right here, but you know, if you don't know, then start taking it up high, and there's a cavity up here where, you know, between the ribs and the neck, or the spine rather, that the back strap lies in, and it goes all the way down here to a bone right here in the hindquarters where that ends up being. And all this is back strap, and it goes all the way up, like I said. So if you don't know where that starts or stops, take it up here at the top and process it down. Now sometimes you have to, you know, I already got rid of a bunch of the back fat. You can see I kind of stopped there. Some of this connective tissue I've kind of already separated. So what I'll do now is, I got this layer of fat out of my way, and I'll just rub my hand in there. I can feel ribs right there, and it kind of just helps separate the back strap from the cavity. Just use your hands. Use your fingers and get in there, and sometimes that's better than using a knife, because then you're not cutting on stuff that you don't want to cut on. And you know, if you accidentally tear or cut a little piece of meat, I mean, it's not the end of the world, you know. So up here, since I already harvested this neck meat, I'm going to kind of get started and just make a general cut right through here. And there's still a little bit of stuff up here I can take. When I'm all done, I'll probably pick over this carcass a little bit more. Now I'm going to make a little cut as best I can along this backbone thing here. I'm just going to go slow. You can feel a bone right there. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of try and work it loose. seeing the cuts I'm making? So you can see there's a cavity inside there. Just working it loose here, just going slow. This deer is ice cold. My hands are freezing touching this thing. It got for sure freezing last night, which was actually a good temperature to hang them. You guys maybe that live in the south or something, I would imagine you guys have to process your deer all in one day. For me, up here, this is I can take my time on it. I usually don't like to let a deer hang more than 3 days or so, but you got to figure beef, they hang, good beef, they hang for a couple weeks in a nice cool area. Alright, so I'm just going to keep working this down, and when I get down to this bone, we'll get back with you. Alright guys, well, I've started to take this back strap out all the way. I found the bone, it's like right there. I'm just going to keep working from the inside and just go real slow here. And when you hit this bone, this back strap's kind of in a, another cavity down here in the bottom. So it's not just a straight across bone, it's more of a socket in there. So I'm just going to be careful and keep working towards that bone. It's a big back strap. I kind of need 3 hands to do this, but there. Now, that's not perfect. I left a little bit in there. I wish I would have, I don't know, there's not that much. It's a little piece. I'll definitely carve that out of there. I could have done a little better here. See, I left some of that in there, but that's all right. I mean, this is a nice hunk of back strap right here. So we're going to go inside, process this down, and then we'll take the other one. But once we get some of this all cleaned up and stuff, we'll show you what the nice chops look like. We'll be with you in a minute. Hey guys, well, we've got this back strap here pretty much cleaned up. You can see there's a little tiny bit of silver skin left on it. Once I cut it into smaller chunks, it'll be easier to get rid of that stuff. So what you want to do when you're processing this down is just keep cutting away the muscle layers until there's just one solid piece of meat left. Like sometimes there'll be a piece like this kind of attached and stuff, and you know, you've got some fat and stuff in there. You want to keep peeling that away. This, you know, obviously is going to be good for trim or stew meat or whatever, or you can roll it up into a roast, whatever you want to do. But this is what you're looking for, just a nice solid piece of meat. Here's the butterfly chops. So we're just going to, just like we did on the steaks, the smaller steaks on the hindquarters, we'll just cut a chunk off there. And if I'm worried about this little piece of fat, I'll cut that off. Maybe that little piece. Some of this you can trim up if you're getting kind of tired of doing a deer for the day or something. You can trim up after you thaw it out, but you do want it as clean as possible. Because even just freezing it with this stuff on there does add a little bit of gamey taste to it sometimes, especially if you're fighting that gamey flavor from a deer from a spot where he hasn't been eating real good, or he's a real big buck or something like that. So I'm okay with a little bit of silver skin, you know, tiny bit like that, just as long as it's not fat. And, you know, like I showed in the other video, I'm just going to do a butterfly chop. So there you go. We're just going to keep going with this backstrap. Some of the best meat on the deer, I think. Hope you like these videos. Thanks.